What's up, Gaming Life Nation? I hope you're all living the G life today. We have a special guest, Facebook phenom, professional esports player, and female gamer activist, Avori Henderson. Avori, I hope you're having a wonderful day and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and look forward to chatting with you about all of these crazy things we're going through.
No problem, Avori. Thanks for being here. The Gaming Life staff sends our best wishes to your family and friends. We know it's hard times for everybody right now. Has COVID-19 had any direct effect on anything you're doing in your life right now?
So yeah, with COVID-19, obviously it's affected my life just like it's affected everyone else's. Fortunately, I get to stay at home and stream from home, so it really hasn't affected my job that much. But I definitely am missing the aspect of my job where I get to go meet fans and that entire aspect of it, just competing at gaming tournaments and things like that. So I'm really, really missing that right now, but I'm just going to do what I have to do in order to make sure that everyone's safe and healthy so that we can get back to doing that again.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear everything's good in your neck of the woods during these hard times and the COVID-19 outbreak. Let's talk about your message a little bit. You're a women's rights activist, specifically in the gaming industry, and your message is to empower females to embrace gaming. Shed some light on that for us.
So I totally did not mean to become a full-time gamer at all. Before that, I was actually competing in pageants and I was modeling. And so I was really, really thrown into the whole embrace your femininity and that type of culture. And so when I became a gamer, just completely the opposite type of culture. You know, it's a male dominated field. There's a lot of hate towards women for whatever reason. I don't know where it started or where it comes from, but it's definitely just a complete shift in the industries. So for me, I noticed this very early on in my career, and I wanted to do something to kind of shift the focus of being a woman in the gaming space. So I created the tournament, and I know we talk about that a little bit later. I can go into detail about it, but I created the tournament for that reason because I want to empower women to embrace their inner nerdy gamer girl, because it's just not something that people normally talk about, and there's a lot of stigmatisms around females and women in this space. So I really wanted to help combat that and just be a role model for women in the space.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's just not enough females in the competitive gaming scene right now. So, how did you start gaming? What did you do? Quit the runway one day and decide to buy a PC? How did that happen?
So basically, I'm a huge nerd for the Hunger Games. I don't know if you've seen the movies,
Of
but
course.
absolutely loved the Hunger Games. I read the books first, and then the movie ended up coming out like a year after I finished the book series, and I was so excited. But yeah, I'm a huge nerd for that. And my friend told me that there was a video game that was coming out that was similar to the Hunger Games, where you kind of like drop in a lobby and the last person to survive wins. And I was like, ooh, that sounds cool. So this whole entire culture of gaming was forming whenever I kind of picked up PC gaming for the first time. And so I really got into what they call battle royales, which is be the last one surviving, basically. So I really got into battle royale style games and just fell in love with it, fell in love with the story, how every time you play the game, there's a different outcome. Just having to use different types of terrain and different weapons to your advantage. I just completely nerded out over it. So that was what got me started into gaming and made me have a passion for gaming full time.
Well, Avori, welcome to the G Life, my friend. That's how we do it. I want to circle back a little bit and talk more about your message. What do you think some of the main challenges are female gamers face, not only in the competitive scene, but just in everyday gaming?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I think people see female gamers two different types of way. And it's so unfortunate that it is this way, but it's just the truth. And so I
Mhm.
feel bad saying this, but it's the truth. So they either see female gamers as girls just trying to get attention, who are terrible at the game and just want attention from guys online. And there are definitely girls like that out there. Just like there's every type of guy, there's those types of girls out there too. And unfortunately, those are the ones that usually turn the camera on and stream. And so there's that type of stigmatism that are around women. And then you have like the overly nerdy gamer girl. That's like really, really just different, crazy hair, crazy makeup sometimes. And so those are the two types of categories that people throw women into when thinking of gaming. Is they're either terrible at the game and, just are online for attention, or maybe they're really good at the game, but they're like just kind of all over the place and like really drastic changes, super nerdy. And so, with me coming from pageants and modeling and things like that, I kind of wanted to be an advocate for, hey, like I'm just a normal girl. Like we don't have to be one way or the other. And there are so many girls like me. Like it's actually crazy. The statistics of, how many males game versus how many females is pretty much 50-50. And so when you think about it like that, it's like we're all just normal people. Like we don't have to throw each other into these pools and stereotypes. And I get it all the time. So I can only imagine that my peers get it all the time as well. But I just wanted to show people that we're normal, like every other girl who just loves to game.
You just love to hear it. It's such a good message. We appreciate you coming on and sharing it with us. So, what about you? Who do you look up to? Who are some of the content creators, influencers, pro players that motivate you to keep sharing this message throughout your community?
I mean, some of the obvious ones are like Pokimane. She made a name for herself by just gaming and creating a community and culture around her of positivity. So obviously, I always look up to that. But one person that really stands out to me is someone that I met very early on. She actually was competing in my Girl Gamer Royale tournaments that I created. She had, I think, around 400 followers when she entered for the first time. And now she is soaring to the top. She's got, I think, over 500,000 followers, and her name is Danuk D. She's from Latvia, and she is an extremely professional, well-respected female gamer that is just a freaking rock star. She's amazing at the games that she plays. She's classy. She's elegant. I just absolutely adore everything that she stands for.
Okay, I've never heard of her myself, but I'll head over her channel and check her out. Sounds interesting. Moving forward, your message. What's the end goal here? What do you hope to accomplish by sharing your message throughout your gaming community?
Yeah, so obviously I joined being a streamer, joined in the gaming world, just simply because I love gaming. I love meeting people. I love making friends, and I like being a role model and an influencer, which is part of the reason why I joined in pageants and modeling in the first place, was because I really wanted to, advocate for a few things kind of in the health field when I first entered. My dad actually suffered a brain hemorrhage when I was 16. The type of brain hemorrhage that he had, he was not supposed to survive. And he is the only person on record today to have ever survived it. So, but when I was competing in pageants, I was really advocating for taking care of yourself and being healthy, and kind of shift focus as my dad started to get better and better. And when I realized this giant gap in the esports industry with men and women, that became my new passion. And so what I really want to do is advocate for bringing more females into the space and encouraging them instead of breaking them down, and creating an entire side of esports that's catered to females. And also, I'm a huge advocate for raising money for charity, which I've done multiple times. Just recently, a couple weeks ago, I did a stream where we raised over $4,500 in one stream for Fred Hutch. So I just want to keep giving back and keep encouraging and empowering women.
Keep doing what you're doing, girl. Stay on that grind. The world's going to be a better place for it. Let's talk a little bit about your professional career. Now, you handcrafted an all-female PUBG tournament. Talk about how you go from streamer to all of a sudden esports production.
Yeah, starting from the beginning, I was competing in several PUBG tournaments. And as I was starting to compete in these tournaments, I noticed that I was like the only female there. In fact, I even traveled to Mexico to compete in a tournament. I was one of 4 invited participants to compete in this tournament called Nation versus Nation. And we competed as a group of 4 against an entire lobby of 50 people and won 5 out of 6 games. I was the only female there. So huge accomplishment. There's some trophies behind me of that, but yeah, there were no females there. And so when I saw that, I was like, wow, I really need to do something because I'm starting to kind of gain some momentum. I have a large enough platform to where my voice matters, and which your voice always matters, but I just had enough followers to where it could really gain some traction. And I knew that. So I reached out to a graphic designer. I reached out to some of the guys that I had worked with in the past who do casting, professional observing. We had an entire professional production. I mean, we had the best casters in the scene. We had the best observers for the game in the scene. We had professional graphics done from a cinematographer who lived in Philly and did a bunch of work with celebrities. I mean, we really put a lot of work into it. We raised money for charity every single time. And we had over, I think it was 7,000 concurrent viewers on the stream, over 166,000 views during that stream. So I was just really, really proud of how many people backed it and participated in it. And we actually ended up running that tournament 4 times over. And now there have been a few people that have kind of taken that idea and run with it, but I'm working on the next best thing.
So you work with charities a lot. That's awesome. How did you become involved with that scene, and what are some of your specifically favorite charities to work with?
Yeah, so when I was competing in Miss America, we ended up raising money for Children's Miracle Network, which is a partner with the Miss America organization. And so if you compete in Miss America, you're required to raise a certain amount of money for charity, which kind of instilled early in me the value of raising money for charity, because as we grow up, we hear about charitable causes and things like that, but we don't really get exposed to it unless we have to, or unless we're going through a traumatic experience, right? So for me, I at that time wasn't going through anything traumatic and was exposed to Children's Miracle Network via my pageants. And so one of the activities, I guess you could call it, that they did for the Miss America contestants was they took them as title holders to the local Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And we actually got to meet the patients. And after that, I just have like a huge place in my heart for this organization, because these are children whose families cannot afford medical care, which is like the saddest thing ever. Like, these kids are staring at hospital walls all day, every day. The highlight of their day is when you come in and bring them something, or if they get a gift, but basically they're told from a very young age that this is your life and this is where you're going to be and this is where you're going to live, and probably any dreams that you have for yourself may not come true because you're going to be here getting medical care. And so for me, I was like, if these kids can't live out their dream, I'm going to work hard to live out mine. And made it my goal to be successful so that I can keep giving back. And so that's one organization that I raised money for, and that we raised money for the tournaments that I ran. And also I raised thousands of dollars while I was competing in pageants. They have a minimum requirement, but I never only went the minimum, especially after being exposed to the hospitals themselves. And then Fred Hutch is another organization that I often raise money for. They're a cancer research facility, and they have some of the most kind, caring, compassionate, and smartest people I've ever met in my life. They actually have scientists that answer questions for my chat live, which is really, really cool. And I haven't seen any other charity do that. So when I do a charity stream for them, we actually have one of their scientists hop in a call with me, and the scientists will answer any questions about cancer, or they do a lot of research on viruses. So we actually did a fundraiser for them so that they could find more research on COVID-19. So trying to give back in that way as well. And I know everyone, and probably every single person in the world has either experienced cancer firsthand or know someone who has. And it's just something we need to get rid of. So that's part of the reason why I help them raise money.
That's so huge. I'm a dog lover, so I like to work with rescue centers or, any charities that like to give back to animals. That's my thing. So once upon a time, you were a Twitch partner, and now you're a Facebook partner. Talk to us about some of the deciding factors in your decision to move platforms.
So when I first decided to try out other platforms was actually the day of my Twitch ban. I felt like it was an extremely fair ban. I felt like they didn't give me the opportunity. They just took me offline. No explanation. I was in the middle of doing like a really awesome stream that I had planned out for months. And I just felt like they're really inconsistent and they play favorites. And so that was the day that I was like, you know what? If I can't go live on Twitch, I'm going to go live everywhere else. So that night, an hour after I got banned, I set everything up and I went live on Mixer and YouTube and every platform I could get my hands on all at the same time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just doing this. At that point, my manager had already been in talks with Twitch about dropping me down to affiliate or coming up with some type of deal where I could stream to other platforms, because they make you sign a contract that makes you exclusive to their platform, but they don't offer you anything. They don't pay you. They don't offer you any incentives. They don't increase revenue really. I mean, they do a little bit, but not much from affiliates. I just felt like it wasn't fair. So that was the day that I really was like, you know what? This platform's inconsistent. They don't care about me. They don't want to help me. They just don't care. And so that was the day. And from then on, I started doing research and I found out that over the past year, Mixer had increased their platform's growth by 143%. Twitch had increased their year's growth by 20%, and Facebook had increased their growth by 219%. And I was like, you know what? Facebook's really making moves. They're putting in a lot of effort. I went and I checked out their platform and I was like, okay, I want to try this. And I did. And holy crap, I could not have made a better decision. I could not have chosen a better platform. I say that wrong. I could not have chosen a better platform. And I'm just really happy with my decision. We're almost to 250,000 followers. It's only been 6 months. I streamed on Twitch for almost 2.5 years, hit 100,000 followers there. So yeah, it's just so much easier when you have the support of the platform to grow.
So Twitch has been on top of the mountain for so long. No one can knock them off. Everybody's tried. Google, Microsoft, Facebook. They just seem to stay up there. Moving away from traffic, let's talk about some of the specific features you like that Facebook has over Twitch.
So Facebook is like a hub for everything. First of all, we should just touch on the fact that Facebook owns Instagram. And I don't know a single streamer who does not use Instagram. Instagram also has live streams, which technically, if you're a Twitch streamer, you cannot live stream to Instagram. If you're a Facebook streamer, you can live stream anywhere because there's no exclusivity. So you can still stream on Twitch. If you stream on Facebook, you can stream on Instagram. You can go live on Twitter. You can go live anywhere, which is really amazing because ultimately all of the platforms matter in building an influencer's following. So they all kind of tie into each other. But one of the things that I really, really like about Facebook is that Facebook's gaming profile for each individual gamer is like a hub. So you have a Facebook group, which is basically like a Discord group where you can post memes, update your audience, and it's kind of like an exclusive group. It also has a group that's for supporters only. So this is all promoted on your Facebook page. You also have exclusive content that's offered through the Facebook page. For instance, if I wanted to make a new video and make it subscribers only, I just upload it to my page and hashtag subscribers. Then they now have automatic access to exclusive content that's uploaded right there for them. Another thing that I really like about how they do their entire platform is they have a sound library for streamers for copyright purposes, which a lot of Twitch streamers have been getting copyright claims, copyright strikes, their videos are being muted. Facebook has an entire library of sounds that each creator can use, and there's so many different styles of sounds that they can use for their live streams. No copyright claims, no problems. And also the largest thing that Facebook does above any other platform is Facebook takes care of their users. And what I mean by this is, like I said, they're constantly reaching out to me, asking if I like their new features, We just had like a 5-hour meeting the other day called the Global Summit, where they showed us all of the new features that they're working on, asked for our feedback. We split up in groups, gave suggestions. They took all of that feedback and they've already started implementing some of the stuff that I was asking for. So they really care about us. They want us to, have ease of use for the platform. And also, they just really care about making it user friendly for everyone. So I think that that's the largest thing a platform could possibly do is ask for feedback and really cater their platform to their users. And Facebook's doing that.
What about talent acquisition? Last year, Mixer, of course, picked up Ninja and Shroud, amongst other streamers. Major, big time, $1 million deals. Is this something you see Facebook doing here in the next 1 or 2 years?
Yeah, I definitely think that they can, but the approach that they're taking is a little bit more sneaky, in my opinion. And I think that that's the smartest thing they could possibly do is grab kind of creators of all sizes and let the platform build, just like you said. You don't want to, grab the top of the mountain with no base underneath it. You want to build an entire community. And I think Facebook is working really hard to build a community and not just pull people over, which is why they have one-on-ones with all of their creators, and they're really helping them utilize the tools that they have in their platform to be successful, so that the people who are successful can teach their friends how to be successful, and the chain just builds. But Facebook has over 2.5 billion users, which is like Twitch's and Mixer's users are a grain of rice to the amount of people that use Facebook. So the growth potential there is incredible. And the sooner people realize that, the sooner I think people are going to start swapping over.
Well, the story's yet to be told, right? There's a lot of 2020 left still, so we'll have to see. Let's talk TOS a little bit. It seems like every week there's a story about someone getting banned, people raging because of inconsistencies, even so much they built a moderation board to help sort all this stuff out. What's Facebook's approach towards the TOS, and how do they implement punishments when someone violates it?
So Twitch is very inconsistent with their bans. For instance, there have been multiple people who have been banned for certain things that some streamers do every single day, which makes me believe that they're playing favorites, or they're, supporting their creators who are their cash cows. And I don't think I really have to give specific examples of this. I'm sure you could search them online and find lots of different things. But one thing that Facebook did the other day, and this actually happened last week, so I'm really happy to talk about this. One thing that Facebook did last week is they pulled me in a private call, me and my supervisor, and they asked me if one of our content creators were to do something that wasn't very good for the platform, that didn't represent Facebook's face well, what do you think we should do? Do you think we should demonetize them for the day? Do you think we should ban them? Do you think we should, they were asking me and allowed me to give my feedback. So I thought that that was awesome. They also asked me specifics on, like, what do you think is a bannable offense? What do you think copyright music is a bannable offense? Do you think it's, they just asked me a lot of questions and gathered my feedback about it, because I do think completely taking someone's page down for a certain amount of time is like a really harsh offense. People work their entire lives to build up a following, to build up on their platform, and you take away all of that for a certain amount of time is kind of crazy. Also, side note, when I swapped over from Twitch to Facebook and we were going over my contract, we had 4 different lawyers from my managers had 4 different lawyers from 4 different companies who never interacted with each other, analyze the Twitch partner contract. And it is the most confusing thing. All 4 of these lawyers basically said that there were 4 different clauses in the contract in a roundabout way that stated that Twitch owns you as a content creator. And I found that really interesting, because this means that they own your logo. They own everything that you create on and off of their platform. And they basically own the rights to everything you do. Even an Instagram post, a Facebook post, they own rights to all of that, because in the contract it states that they can legally come after you for anything that you create, which is why they've gone after people who have started streaming on other platforms. They've threatened to sue streamers for streaming on other platforms because in that contract it states that Twitch owns them, but they're not paying people. So I found that really interesting, and I'm really happy that Facebook is taking the approach that they are, asking feedback and really dishing out bans or dishing out punishments. Really, I don't think they're going to even do bans, but dishing out punishments for offenses rather than just pulling away someone's entire life's work.
I really like that hands-on approach Facebook is bringing. I think it's an awesome thing. So where does the Gaming Life Nation find you, Avery?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for asking all of these questions and inquiring about these things. I don't get to talk about a lot. So I'm really thankful that you're interested and want to learn about some of the things that I'm doing, because I do think it's really influential and impactful as a whole in the esports industry. And I really am working hard to make moves to help encourage women in the space is ultimately my goal. So thank you for being interested in that, and probably for encouraging and motivating women as well. But other than that, I just swapped over to Facebook, so you can follow me at fb.gg/Miss Avery. And I'll look forward to seeing y'all on my streams.
I do hope we get to speak again one day, Avery. Everything you're doing is so awesome, and it'll definitely make the world a better place. GL Nation, if you're out there, support this girl. She's doing it right.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of your articles and the things that you guys are working on behind the scenes, and look forward to chatting soon.